Hi, my name's Craig Petty and welcome to Nothing But The Truth. This is my chance to let you know what I feel about what's going on in the magic industry. Don't expect a high quality, studio-based review show. If you're looking for that, look somewhere else. This is a no-frills look at the good, the bad and the ugly. Basically, if I'm passionate about something or something has pissed me off, I'm going to let you know. You may love me, you may hate me, but I promise you one thing, there will be nothing but the truth. My name's Craig Petty, and I'm back.
So, I got to tell you, I love Nick Einhorn. I don't love him, but I love him. I think he's one of the best magicians in the UK, if not the world. His nest of wallets I do all the time. His unicorn ring on key fob I do all the time. I think he's brilliant. I think he's one of the best people I saw in Penn & Teller Foolers. He's an amazing magician. He is. So I'm kind of disappointed because I expected more from Nick than what I'm actually seeing here. And the trick I'm talking about is Insta-Change. And apparently this is sold out at Blackpool like 2 years in a row, and I think I know why. Let me explain the trick to you first of all. You reach into your pocket and you take out a receipt, and you show the receipt, and then you change it into a £10 note or a €10 note or a $10 note, depending on the version you get and which country you're in, and then you hand that note out for examination. Okay? That's the trick. That's what it is. That's the trick. Sounds great, right? Here's why I think it's sold out to Blackpool 2 years in a row. Sold out at Blackpool 2 years in a row because magicians like toys. You know, many years ago when I first got into magic, it wasn't about toys. It was about books. We had books. And we had videos, not DVDs, not downloads. We had books, and that's where it was. These days it's toys. You go to Blackpool and you buy toys. I know this because I've done the same. I've gone out and bought toys. And generally, these toys live in the bottom drawer. Now, the problem with this is, so what's happening is Nick is demoing this at Blackpool and people are going, ooh, and it comes with this gimmick thing, blah, 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 I'll buy this. Here's the problem. This is a trick that solves a problem that does not exist. It doesn't even need to be fixed. This is not a problem. And that's the same with pretty much every bill switch that's ever been bought out. But this specifically, let me explain why. Let's talk about the negatives of this trick. The huge negative is you cannot borrow something. You have to use the receipt that is in your wallet. You cannot have that receipt examined before you do the trick. You can't say, hey, have a look at this, it's a receipt. You have to, you can't even freely show it. Yes, you give the impression that you're freely showing it, but you're not. You can't freely show it. You show this receipt. You then fold it, shake it, turns into a £10 note. You unfold it and you hand it out for examination. Now, I've seen a version of this very similar where you couldn't hand it out for examination. This you can. So Nick's taken that and took it to a new level. But the problem is there's this thing in magic called the $100 bill switch, which pretty much every magician knows or should know, that uses a and the whole idea is that you have a and you do the $100 bill switch. It's amazing. Most workers do the $100 bill switch. The $100 bill switch is 1,000,000 times better than Insta-Change. Because one, like I said, you can't examine the note or the receipt beforehand. Secondly, with Insta-Change, once you've changed it into a £10 note and you hand it out to them, you cannot do that trick again. I can't then take it back and turn it into a receipt. That's it. End of trick. Job done. No more. Finished. That's problem number 2. Problem number 3, there is a reset. Admittedly, not a very long reset, but there's still a reset. It takes like 30 seconds to reset. What you have to do is you have to go somewhere. Let's say you're doing table hopping. You have to go somewhere like the bar or into the toilet. And you have to kind of fiddle around for a little bit and then put the receipt back in your pocket every single time you do this trick. So what's going to happen is the person who's booked you is going to end up going, well, it looks like the magician's got diarrhea. You don't want to keep going into a situation where you have to reset this over and over and over and over and over again. You want to be able to do it. Boom. So those are the 3 negatives. You can't have it examined beforehand. You can have it examined afterwards, but you can't repeat the trick. And then there's a reset. The 4th issue, in my opinion, is there is a little bit of an angle issue from underneath. Now, this isn't a problem for walk around. So if you're doing mix and mingle or cocktail, not an issue. If you're doing table magic and people are looking up at you, that is an issue. Or if you're performing from a distance, like in a parlor show and people are looking from a distance, there is an issue because there's angle problems. Now, let's compare that to the $100 bill switch. method. With the method, right? Or with the $100 bill switch or whatever, I can borrow a £50, I can borrow a £5 note. Borrow it, it's their note. Or I can take a receipt out of my pocket and have it examined. Then I can take it and I can do the change and I can hand it out to be examined immediately. And then, guess what? I can take it and turn it back again immediately. In fact, I could keep doing this all night if I wanted to bore the hell out of my audience, because I'm not restricted by the fact that I'm using a gimmick, right? Much, much, much better. A million times better. But secondly, I don't need to reset it. When I've done the trick, depending on what trick I've done, when I've done the trick, I'm instantly reset, ready to go again. And when I say the trick that I've done, that's a big consideration, because all I can do with Insta-Change is take a receipt, turn it into a £10 note, job done, let's move on. With the $100 bill switch, there are literally hundreds of routines I can do. Look at Jay Sankey's DVD on the bill switch. Look at Switch, the book by John Lovick. There's thousands of tricks in there that I can do that you could not do with Insta-Change. The angles are better. The problem is the angles from the rear. But if I have got people standing behind me, I can bring my hands closer into my chest. So the angles aren't really as much of an issue, and definitely not from underneath. There are so many more advantages, but you know what? It doesn't matter what I say on this thing. It makes absolutely no difference, because what we have here is a toy. And what magicians will do is they will spend £35, £40 on a toy that they take and play around with and then put away. They'd rather do that than take that same amount of money and buy Switch by John Lovick and learn how to do 1,000 tricks. Because guess what? It's more difficult to do Switch. It's more difficult to do a $100 bill switch. Well, here's the thing. I love Nick Einhorn. I cannot, shall not, and will not recommend this. I won't recommend it because it is absolutely limiting. It's limiting from an angles point of view. It's limiting from a reset point of view. It's limiting from everything that I've been through. The $100 bill switch is better. Now, there is one way that would make me change my mind. And the one thing that would make me change my mind is if Insta-Change was so freaking visible and so amazing that that visualness covers all the negatives that I've gone through. If I could take like a receipt out of my pocket and not have it examined, but literally blow it and it changed at my fingertips and then hand it out for examination, that would sway me in the other direction, because then it's like, wow, that's TV quality magic. But let's look at what happens with Insta-Change. You take a receipt, you fold it up, you shake it, you unfold it, and it's changed, and you give it out. Does that sound familiar to something? Let me think for a minute. Oh yeah, the $100 bill switch. You take something, you fold it up, you shake it, you open it, and it's changed. If I went to an audience and I did the $100 bill switch and then I did Insta-Change, they're not going to know the difference. Because from a performance point of view, there is absolutely no difference. All we have with this trick are negatives. There are no positives over the $100 bill switch, other than the fact that it's easier. And you know what? With Insta-Change, you get a 5-minute download. Now, I can't blame Nick for that, because there isn't anything else to say. It takes 5 minutes to explain how it works. It's easy. It's incredibly easy. You can learn it in 5 minutes. And that's why magicians will buy this. That's why it will sell out at Blackpool. That's why it will sell out at every single magic shop around the world. And that's why it doesn't matter what I say, people aren't going to listen, they're going to buy this. Because it is a toy. It's instant gratification. They can go out and they can buy this and they can be doing it 5 minutes later. Well, you know what you should be doing? You should be taking Insta-Change and putting it away and saying, no, thank you, and then go and buy a book. And go and learn how to do it from a book. And then you've got access to 100 different tricks. Don't be lazy. Nick Einhorn, you're a fantastic magician. But you've solved a problem that doesn't exist. I don't think this is good. I don't recommend it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm really sorry. 1 out of 10.